Hi everyone, it's Kadesha,
Samantha.
Sandy.
and we're back with another fun episode on the Deeper Than Tech podcast, where we talk about how to grow your career in an industry that was not designed with us in mind. Today's topic is how to stay healthy as a software engineer so we can take care of that mind, body, and soul. But before we dive into this topic, if you're loving our podcast so far, we'd really appreciate it if you took the time to share with a friend or coworker. You can also tag us on social media to let us know that you're actively listening. So, sitting at a computer screen for long periods of time is really not good for our health. As software engineers, we typically have tight deadlines, endless bugs to solve, and very limited time to stop and smell the roses throughout our workday. Sandy, tell me, how do you take care of your health as a developer?
Well, I definitely invest in self-care. So I recently got a Peloton bike, and I think it's been very
Ooh,
essential just to get that daily exercise in, and take a break from thinking about anything work.
yeah,
And then sometimes I also like on a Saturday, I like doing my nails, like doing something for me that it's like harmless, but brings me a little bit of joy of just seeing it. So I definitely think just taking moments to invest in your self-care is a way you can stay positive and healthy
yeah,
and
I
work
love
on your
that.
goals. Yeah.
I love that. I love that you take the time to take care of your nails and your hair and just chill out on the Peloton bike and just get a good sweat in. That's so
Get a good sweat
important.
in.
Samantha, what are some key things that you do to take care of yourself?
For me, I definitely am like exercise is very important. Especially because now that we're working from home, I'm not outside walking a ton, so it's super important for me to get
Yeah.
some sweat going, like you were saying. But it's also important for me. I might be jumping the gun in this conversation, but like also to give yourself space after job. So if they're giving you
Yes.
tight deadlines, if they're giving you, you have to do this by tomorrow, to push back on products, make sure that you have that space to not be stressed out, to not have that pressure on you. And as an engineer, it is your product person's kind of job to protect the engineers and not have a lot of stress on them and figure out a way for the product to still move forward and not put all that pressure on engineers. Like for me at my job, I will never feel the pressure unless I'm tech lead of having a product be done tomorrow, having a product be done like ASAP because my product person is there to protect me from the big leadership team that kind of like comes down and says, "Get this stuff done."
That's
Get it
so
done
true.
now.
I know. I know that our product manager at my company, he's always telling us like, "Oh my god, I really had to fight to get these extra 3 weeks or to get 2 months for us to finish the work." But it's definitely worth it, so nobody's stressed out, and we're always like, "Yeah, thank you so much."
I
So
definitely lie on my like deadlines. I tell them, "Oh, it's gonna take me like 5 weeks to do this," and I know it's only gonna take me 2, just so I know I have a little buffer room to
buffer.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
buffer room, and then they have to add their buffer, so we're all good
Yep.
on making sure the deadlines are not tight.
Right? Because it's not just us like doing the programming; it's also the testing needs to be done, and testers typically or QA engineers typically find things that we don't see, so we have to fix that. So there always has to
Right.
be a buffer to handle the stress. So I guess having a good functioning team is very important to making sure that we stay healthy. Because if we have a product manager and even a tech lead that's looking out for us, we won't be stressed really unless it's like figuring out why the button won't click and everything is there properly and it's just like why won't you just click, just do it, and the button is just like nah, I'm taking a break. That can be very stressful.
There's plenty of
Irritating.
things to be stressful about. There are plenty of things to be stressful about, but one thing that should not be stressful is deadlines. If you have great communication skills and you let your product people know that,
Yep.
hey, this is what's happening. Let them know early. Don't let them know the day is deadline due. Like, hey, I can't do it, but let them know early and they can work with you.
Yeah,
If not,
I love
it's
that
time
you
for a new
brought that up.
job. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I guess for me, like most recently, I've been really trying to focus on eating properly. So getting my greens in, making sure I'm drinking water, and even just taking indoor walks. I recently found a whole bunch of YouTube videos about walking. I'm like, oh wow, I never thought about walking indoors. Wow, because it's so cold outside. Who wants to go outside? Not me. So I've been trying to do those things. Also sleeping. I don't always go to bed early, but I do know that whenever I do get a good night's rest, the next day I'm like on top of it. Like I can crush the day. So that's also something I try to do as well.
I love sleeping early and waking up early. I don't know. I'm just a
Yeah.
morning person, so I feel like when I do wake up at 5, 6 a.m., I'm way more productive as opposed to waking up at like 9, 10. Because it's so easy to wake up late in this remote environment because you can just really roll out of bed and be at stand up.
Yep.
But I do think giving yourself that time to wake up much earlier, preparing, going through your emails, looking through your calendar, just having that buffer time really just set you up for success. So I definitely love
Absolutely.
that idea of sleeping early, waking up early.
Absolutely. It's so important to have a schedule and a routine. That's something
Yeah.
I don't have properly. Sometimes I do just get up and go to work, which is very bad. Don't do it. Don't follow me. It's important to have a routine. You get up, you work out, you eat, you shower, then you go to work. I think it gives your body and your mind a way to say, oh yes, you just ease into the day instead of rushing into the day. I think that helps a lot as
So
well.
a routine is also great for you to have to make less decisions every single day.
Mm-hmm.
The less decisions you can make early on in the day, the more productive your day can be. So like if you know that you're gonna eat oatmeal every single morning, that's one less decision that you have to make. Or if you know like at this time I work out, that's one less decision you have to make. And then throughout your whole day, you can make stronger and smarter decisions and use that energy for more impactful stuff. That's probably why what's his name? What's his Steve? Not Steve Jobs, but the Facebook guy, Mark Zuckerberg.
Mark Zuckerberg.
Wears the same clothes every single day because that's one less decision he has to make so he can make Facebook even better.
I love
that you mentioned that point. Actually, when I was trying to be more productive breaking into tech, I was watching interviews about Mark Zuckerberg and how he stays ahead of things. That's actually one of the things I did when I was in my boot camp, so I could be more productive in my day. I'd wear this. I'd buy like the same outfit, like the same legging, black legging, the same gray shirt. I gave myself like my own personal uniform to be productive and get the most out of my day. So I definitely think like that is a low key plug. Like,
yeah,
putting systems in place so that your brain makes less decisions is definitely essential.
It's good that way you can make stronger decisions.
Yeah.
There's this book on forming good habits, and it's slipping my mind right now, but one of the things the author mentions is make habits easier to implement. So it's just like, if you want to eat well, like Samantha says, just say, okay, I'm going to have this for the week. And then make it accessible in the fridge, make it accessible to make it ahead of time that we can just grab it and, you eat. If you want to work out more, take out your clothes from the night before and just put it right in front of your face. So when you wake up, it's the first thing that you see. So you don't have to make up your mind and say, oh, I want to work out. What am I going to wear? Nope, it's right there. You just go do it. If you want to code more, you put it in your calendar so that you get a reminder. And then when you see that ping, it's just like, oh, it's time to study. Let me go do some coding. It's just like make the healthy habits easier for you to do. And I'm saying this and I'm taking it in because I need to take my own advice. So I can start for a proper routine.
Same. I like the same way because I read that book Atomic Habits.
Yes,
and they were also like to your point with the exercise. They're like you should have like a definition of ready. Like if you wake up, you have your clothes ready, you put your shoes on. Like putting your shoes on, it's no going back. You're doing that workout. Same thing with like you were saying with the work. You have your laptop out, your code, you hear that ping, no going back. You're working. So like really identifying your definition of ready so that you can, be productive and be healthy and things like that.
Absolutely. And so a lot of times like working as developers, even if we're in boot camps learning to be a developer, like it takes a lot of mental energy and a lot of even physical stamina to just be like to sit at the computer and stare at the screen to say, oh my gosh, what's going on? What do we think about utilizing therapy as a means to manage stress or the anxiety that we may face sometimes to keep our minds healthy?
I love the idea of therapy. I just don't know how to I just don't know how to go about like getting it. But I definitely, when I've spoken to a few of my other colleagues, and like they rave about going to a therapist, having those sessions, and just being able to vent and um, have someone listen to their problems. Like it's been very instrumental in their journey. So I definitely like the idea of therapy.
What about you, Samantha?
I am not opposed to therapy. I personally don't go. I think I value actually having large group conversations with other Black female engineers if I am stressed out. But I think mental health is super important. Do it.
Do it.
Like, be like Nike. Just do it.
Do it. I'm a huge proponent of therapy. I've gotten so many like just little tools that I can use throughout my day from just being therapized for a lot of years, and it's great. It's great. And to find a therapist, start at your job. So like a lot of our jobs offer employee assistance programs that is free to us. So you'll get like X amount of sessions per year. And we can either go online or call them up and say, hey, I'm looking for X. And I'll just try people out. So if I don't like the first person, I move on to the next one and so on and so forth until I find somebody that I kind of vibe with. Yeah. And then there's this new app. They're relatively new. Talkspace, I believe it's called, where it's text therapy. So you can text somebody, hey, I'm experiencing Y. What do you think I should do? And the person will respond, and you can just talk back and forth like you're talking to an anonymous friend. You remember like chat rooms? I feel like it's something sort of like that.
Yeah. Okay. Just remember that no matter what, you're not going through something alone. There's tons of people out there that can help you, whether that's paid or if you go online and just find somebody to talk to. So you are not alone in the situation. Somebody else might be going through the same thing. So just
100%. So what are some unhealthy practices that developers typically
rolling out of bed and start working? That's probably one of the worst habits that developers have.
Yeah. Or like the first thing you do when you wake up is just open up your laptop. Like all that light in your eyes. Your eyes don't even get a chance to adjust.
I do that all the time. I recently invested in these blue light glasses. But I don't even wear them all the time. But it's the small steps.
It's the small steps.
I think another thing that developers do is like we tend to overwork ourselves. Like if there's a deadline on a Monday and it's Friday and you're not done, I'm aware of some people on my team that they'll work through the weekend to get their work done on Mondays. So I think that's also an unhealthy habit of just working through weekends, working on your time off, sometimes even working on PTO. Like give yourself that time to rest. It will get done eventually, but it shouldn't be at the expense of your mental health.
100%. I think there is a gross there's a grossness about working as a developer. It's just like you have to work 24/7. You have to keep learning. You have to keep building. You have to keep iterating. It's like no, you need to pause because we need rest as humans. That's how we process information. That's how we assimilate information. That's how our brain form new grooves so we can absorb whatever we're learning or working on. It's just like we need to make sure that we're prioritizing rest and also having good posture when we're sitting and working. I've been doing like
we just currently just all sat up and had
to feel like you gotta tell me twice.
Samantha's like, oop. So it's like I recently got like maybe over the past 2 months, I got this thing that converts into like something that I can stand with and work in, like a desk for my desktop. And I really like it. I feel like when I'm standing, I'm a lot more alert and I'm a lot more productive versus when I sit and working. Do you guys practice standing or sitting when you stand?
I practice the sitting. I always think about posture and I like and I'll do that. But for standing, I don't know, because I also looked at the cost of the standing desk. And it's like $500 to $1,000. I just wasn't sure if I was ready to make that investment because it's step one is to make the investment. Step two is like using it all the time. Yes. I've known some people that have had that standing desk and they don't use it. They just don't use it. So I don't know. I like knowing that I'm going to use this new implementation. Like if I'm going to spend money, I want to know that I'm going to make the most out of it, basically.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's why I just start with like the sitting up straight. If I can do that well enough, then I'll move on to trying to get a standing desk.
I mean, you don't have to get a standing desk. So I don't have a standing desk. I have I don't know what it's called, but I got it from Amazon. It was like $25. It was very cheap, and it works very effectively. It just like goes up and down. It allows me to stand while working on my desk.
We just get like a bunch of boxes and stand them up tall. And
Yeah.
Put your laptop on top of that. You don't have to be super
stand at the
fancy
kitchen table. Yeah.
Yes, yes. So for me, I did have a standing desk when I was in the office. I never used it. I only used it when I saw somebody else stand up. It's like, oh, maybe I should stand up too. Like, but I don't think it's super important to have a standing desk. I think it's more important to have your exercise and focus on doing that or taking more breaks. So like when you need to like, so I have an Apple Watch and it tells me, hey, you probably should stand up right now. So I go stand up and maybe I'll go walk to the bathroom and I'll walk back. I think it's more important than just standing there, spreading your legs and your knees because you want to stand. This old age ain't looking good on me, y'all. Yeah.
Samantha's like, save the knees.
Save the knees.
That's funny, but it's true. I sometimes I don't take enough breaks throughout the day, and when I do stand, I do feel it in my body, and I'm just like, ooh, oh my goodness, I need to like adjust and rotate and just walk around to get my muscles unseized, because it's so important to just take the break. And even like the screen time, we're on our phones, we're on our work computer, then we transition to our personal computer, we're on the television. There's so much going on with our eyes all the time. It can be damaging.
Get some eye drops because your eyes are so dry. At least mine.
Get some eye drops, y'all.
What I also do is like, I put the brightness on like the lowest setting.
Same.
Like sometimes I just can't stand looking at that glaring light. Is it not? I don't put it on.
I think it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, I was just gonna say that I put it just low enough where I can see it, but it's just not. It's like that good blend of like I can see my code, but it's not. The light is not glaring, staring back at me. It's like that good blend. I thought it'd be better or useful.
I do that
just having it all the way to the high setting.
Oh, definitely not the highest. That's
yeah.
I think it's supposed to be like the same light as you're getting from the room, so like a nice coat. Like, so like if it's like super bright in your room, then you have the brightness up. If it's like super dim, then maybe. But I am not a scientist. I don't know. You might be right about what you do.
That's funny. Yeah, I like to keep mine on the lowest setting as well. And wherever I can get a dark screen, I take advantage of it because my eyes do thank me.
Yeah, and like Sandy has the blue light glasses.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
do those really work?
To get the blue light.
They do.
I think they do, sure. But again, the type of person I am, sometimes I like the idea of things. I just don't use it all the time. But I definitely feel like if I did, and it's cute, it has like this like cheetah type of print thingy.
I think you definitely feel like if I used
glasses. It. Yeah, look at her.
Look at that.
See, you can kind of see like blue is like, I feel like it does its job and it protects your eyes from the screen. So I definitely think it's a good investment. And it's like $10, $10 to $12 on Amazon. So
why is it so cheap?
You're right.
Plastic.
Why is it so cheap?
Sorry. Breaks, move your bodies, eat healthy. Those are all important for us to have successful careers. Is there anything else you wanted to add to this conversation?
Yeah, of course. I personally think that if you have a job that lets you set your own schedule, to focus on yourself first. That might be like working out. If you want to read a book at the beginning of the day, make sure you focus on yourself first. Your job will always be there for you to get to later in the day. So take care of you.
100%.
Well, thanks so much for listening to another episode of the Deeper Than podcast. Remember that eating well, moving your body, sleeping, and maintaining a healthy relationships, caring for your mental health will make you not only a better developer, but a better human. I hope you took something away from this conversation today that you can use in your daily life. Don't forget to share this episode with a friend or coworker and leave us a review. Until next time, bye!
Bye!